Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my literary club. Today I'm going to explain The Chimney Sweeper from Songs of Experience by William Blake. I have songs of Chimney Sweeper from Songs of Innocence on my channel, and also have the difference between Songs of Experience and Songs of Innocence on my YouTube channel. You can check that if you need. So let's start with poet's introduction. William Blake from 1757 to 1827 was an enigmatic English poet, painter, and printmaker, revered for his visionary and often mystical works that blurred the line between his art and literature. A key figure of Romantic age, Blake's poetry, including famous collections like Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience, delves into the themes of spirituality, social injustice, and human condition. His unique use of symbolism, vivid imagery, and unconventional ideas continues to resonate, commenting his legacy as a profound influence on both literature and the arts. This very poem, the song Chimney Sweeper from Songs of Experience, is a very powerful critique of social and moral injustice which was faced by the children during the Industrial Revolution of 18th century. Blake contrasts the innocence of the childhood with the harsh realities of the life of that era. This poem is a very poignant reflection on the plight of children who were forced into the labor, and that was the dehumanization of the children because they were forced to clean the chimneys. Okay, this poem is a stark imagery on the religion's role also, because how religion, what was the religion's role in perpetuating the suffering upon the children. Now, this is a quite animated picture for you to get a better understanding of how the chimney sweeping work was done. Now, look at these tiny, narrow chimneys in which children had to enter these chimneys, and they had to clean these chimneys. So before early in the morning, and plus throughout the day, from early in the morning to the night, and only 2, 3, or 4 year old kid could be able to do this. So this was the exploitation of the kids. They were forced to enter into this, and this was injurious to their breathing, and this was injurious to their health. So this was done in with the kids of that era. So let's start with the stanza number one, in which Blake shows us a darker aspect of the life and the society of industrial revolution of 18th century, a little black thing among the snow. Now look at this word thing. He's denoting the word thing to the child. So a thing is used for some ordinary thing, and he's saying that the kid of that era was very ordinary. He didn't have any value. So look at the misery of the kid, and he's giving us two images of a black thing, black kid, and the snow, whiteness of the snow, innocence of the snow. Okay, so a little black thing among the snow. Now he's using the literary device of symbolism. Symbolism is a literary and artistic device in which symbols, objects, characters, figures, or colors are used to represent abstract ideas or concepts. So here, this little black thing symbolized the isolation of the child, and this snow symbolized the innocence around the kid. Crying, weep, weep in notes of woe. Now you can see the children is crying, and no one is there to listen. Okay, the children is crying in despair, and this repetition of weep, weep shows the depth and of sorrow and the helplessness of the kid. Where are thy father and mother? Say. Now the poet is asking a rhetorical question. A rhetorical question is a figure of speech in which a question is posed not to elicit an answer, but rather to make a point or encourage reflection. Now, the point here is this, that the Blake wants to convey the isolation of the kid. He wants to convey the message that even the parental care for the kid is also absent. His parents are not even present. So he's asking, where are your parents? And they are both gone up to the church. So they are gone up to the church to pray. Now, this could have two meanings. Once, that his parents are dead and they are buried in the church. Okay, and second meaning, the main meaning could be that they left their kid here in the misery. They left their kid here to in this child labor, forced labor, and they went up to the work. Now, this is the main religious critique here, that there is no religion in the world who calls his follower to come pray to me and left your children crying and weeping and working forcefully. So this is the biggest religious hypocrisy which Blake is highlighting. This religious hypocrisy is an example of irony. Irony is a figure of speech or a situation in which there is a discrepancy or incongruity between what is expected and what is actually occurs. So we expect from parents to care and protect us, not to left the kid in to forcefully exploit himself, and they gone up to the church to pray. Okay, stanza number two. Because I was happy upon the heath and smiled among the winter's snow. Now the child, now the speaker is child, and he's remembering his happy past when he was happy upon the heath, and he was among the nature, he was among the snow, the heat, and there was natural and was joy, there was pastoral setting, there was peace. Despite the cold, still he was smiling. So he was remembering that time. So the Blake is giving us an imagery. Imagery is a literary device that involves the use of descriptive language to create vivid and sensory representations in the reader's mind. So here Blake is giving us an imagery of a happy and smiling child playing in the snow. So that's an example of imagery with the use of some descriptive language. They clothed me in the clothes of death and taught me to sing the notes of woe. Now we can see the loss of innocence, the loss of happiness in these lines, the loss of freedom. Okay, the clothes of death means the burdens, the hardships imposed on the child, the labor imposed on the child by that society. And this clothes of death means, and there's a special suit for the chimney sweepers. So this could be the cloth, could be a word for that dress, and a cloth of death could be another. This could have another meaning because, as I have earlier discussed, that chimney sweepers could have many. Because this chimney sweeper is very injurious to health, so they die early. So this suit, the suit of chimney sweepers, was also a suit of death for them. So this cloth of death could also be this could have that meaning also. Okay, they clothed me in the clothes of death and taught me to sing the notes of woe. Now he's saying that they forced me, they compelled me to do that work, to sing that song, to bear that uh, sorrow, and to bear that exploitation. And this clothes of death is an example of metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech that makes direct comparison between two unlike things without using like or as. Okay, it implies that one thing is another. Now he's using the word of clothes of death instead of oppressive, controlling behavior. Okay, he could say that they controlled me with this impressive, oppressive behavior, but he said that they clothed me in the clothes of death. So that's an example of metaphor. Stanza number three. And because I'm happy and dance and sing, now we can see that children still have capacity to be happy despite their grim circumstances. They still have ability to be happy and to dance and to sing. They think they have done me no injury. Now there's another example of irony, that is saying that though I'm looking like I'm happy, so my parents think and my society and everybody thinks that I am happy. They have done me no harm. They did me a very good thing by putting me into this child labor. They have this misconception. So he's pointing out the misconception of the adults, the delusion of the adults, and he's pointing out the true suffering of the children's, and are gone to praise God and his priest and king, who make up a heaven of our misery. Now he is criticizing the whole social structure: God, priest, and king. Now here he is not, Blake is not criticizing the direct to the actual God. He's criticizing those people, those religious authorities who ruled these authorities, who ruled these clergy authorities, priest authorities, king authorities, and they let child exploit. They let them have this child labor. And his their parents, the parents of kids, still praise those monarchy and clergy and God who make fall this misery on the kids, who make up a heaven of our misery. Now there's a very powerful closing line of the poem that he Blake contrast heaven with the suffering. He's saying that he's saying that the higher authorities ignore the suffering of the poor and built up upon the backs of the oppressed people. Now, this heaven of our misery is also an example of metaphor, and with this, our poem ends. These are a few themes of the poem: exploitation of child. At that time, most of the child have to do this child labor of 2, 3, and 4 age, and that was very brutal, and they could die early because of this, and they had to get up early, and that was very bad for their mental health, for their physical health. Loss of innocence, they lost their innocence in a very early age. We can see in this, even in this poem, the critique of societal and religious hypocrisy. Okay, the Blake is criticizing societal structure, even god, clergy, and monarchy, very powerfully in this poem. If you have any question regarding the explanation, you can ask in the comments below. Also, you can give your suggestion about next poem to explain in the comments. Please like and share the video, subscribe our channel, and press the bell icon to get the notification of the next video.